Most people don't know the feeling of standing on a huge rock, looking down on Lake Tahoe in California, or what I would like to call feeling alive. This past summer, I took a trip with my family of 8 people in 2 cars, a road trip across the United States. We traveled horizontally west, and we looped down from the Pacific Coast Highway all the way back up to Ohio. Over the course of the trip, we took many interesting times during the trip over those hours and hours of car rides. I would have to say that the most interesting was looking at the historical value of the land in Silver City and Virginia City, Nevada. We originally went there for my mom's business trip. It was a 2-day trip, and we saw her history of the mining company, and we also saw the history of the 2 towns, which was very interesting to me. I loved every moment of that. Now, not to say that there were any bad moments of the trip, but not everything can be as fun as seeing the history of the mining company and everything like that. One of the worst parts and most long parts of the trip was breaking down in Iowa and being right next to the world's largest truck stop. Now, most of you are probably thinking not to make any suggestions about what you're thinking, but you're probably thinking that it's not the most fun experience. Well, my dad contacted this guy who owned his own shop in Iowa, and he decided to fix it. It took 6 hours to fix. I don't know how many of you can imagine 6 hours at a truck stop, even though it was the world's largest. My sister, brother, and I, we walked around, ventured around the different food places, the gift shops, and overall it was really interesting just to see how these truckers lived and everything like that. But 6 hours was a really long time, and I was ready to move on. So, the next portion of the trip that I found amazing was driving down the Pacific Coast Highway in California, obviously, and we went down and saw a secluded private beach more towards Santa Barbara, California, and that was really interesting because my dad actually grew up near that beach. We got to see the apartment complex that he lived in with his mom and his stepdad, and it was really just fascinating to be on the beach where my dad grew up and look at all the different wildlife that was there. I mean, that's one of my favorite things to even look at, and it's just amazing about all the different things. Me and my sister, we found sea stars, and we found sand dollars, sea urchins, everything like that, and it was actually very, very interesting. It really gave the classic beach feel, which is something that I really, really love. It was fabulous. Now, overall, I would have to say that 3-week trip in 2 cars, 8 people, was the best 3 weeks of my life, to say the least. I got to experience it with my family, me and my sister and my brothers. It was just an amazing experience because I got to spend 3 weeks with my family, which is something a lot of people don't get to do, especially with how old that we are. I would definitely recommend doing a trip like this to everyone, and I thank you guys for listening to my speech.